I'm Joe Catalano with an AM Quincy news update for Tuesday, July 30th. Regular service resumed on the Red Line yesterday after a closure for repairs that lasted nearly a month. Shuttle buses have been replacing trains between Alewife and JFK UMass. T officials are next planning work between JFK UMass and Braintree for most of September. MBTA Red Line trains' major T shutdown will remove 20-plus speed restrictions along the Red Line. Service will be suspended from September 6th through the 29th, so crews can make repairs along 18 miles of track. Officials said that work will eliminate 20 speed restrictions. State and local lawmakers joined employees and patients yesterday to speak out against the planned closure of two Steward Healthcare hospitals in Massachusetts. On Friday, bankrupt Steward said it planned to close Kearny Hospital in Dorchester and Neshoba Valley Medical Center in Ayer on or about August 31st. Senator Ed Markey said the, quote, greedy corporate executives of the Texas-based for-profit private healthcare company act like our healthcare system is their personal piggy bank. Congressman Stephen Lynch said there is insufficient notice to close the hospitals at the end of August. The event ended abruptly after a man grabbed a Bullhorn's microphone from Lynch's hand and began yelling, ultimately turning his anger toward Lynch. A bankruptcy judge will have to approve Steward's motion to close Kearny and Neshoba Valley. Steward said it will work with patients and employees during the closures. 30 days before closing, Steward will send a notice of its closing plan to the Mass Department of Public Health. 15 days before closing, signs will go up at hospital entrances and all elective patient admissions will end. A day before closing, EMS services will end, ERs will close, and any remaining patients will be discharged or transferred. In the most recent court filing, Steward said the state will pay $30 million to support hospital operations during its transition. The state will not ask for any repayments. Governor Healy signed a nearly $58 billion state budget bill yesterday that includes a plan for free community college and allows the Massachusetts Lottery to move some of its products online. The spending plan will also pay for literacy programs for children aged 3 through 3rd grade, cover the state's free school breakfast and lunch program, and fully fund tax cuts included in the last state budget. The budget sets aside more than $117 million for a free community college program across the state, covering tuition and fees for students. The 15 community colleges in Massachusetts serve more than 90,000 students, about 70% of whom attend school part-time while juggling work and family commitments. To be eligible for the free tuition, students must be pursuing a degree at a public community college in Massachusetts and complete the free application for federal student aid, or a state equivalent of the FAFSA form. Students must also attend school at least part-time, not already have a bachelor's degree, and be a Massachusetts resident. Students of color make up more than half of the state's community college population, and fewer than 25% of community college students have annual household incomes above $120,000. The budget would also allow online lottery sales while raising the age to 21 for anyone buying online lottery products. The spending plan includes a prohibition on predatory advertising to minors. The goal is to create a new funding source for the state's early education and care initiatives. A portion of the new revenue collected from online lottery sales, estimated at about $100 million, would fund grants intended to help the state's most vulnerable children. With the stroke of a pen yesterday, Governor Healy banned cities and towns in Massachusetts from equity theft, the practice of selling a foreclosed home and keeping the former homeowner's equity as profit. The two have been working for years to stop the practice of cities and towns and even private companies foreclosing on homeowners selling their properties and then keeping the profits. They've represented people such as Nancy Rodriguez of Worcester, who almost lost her $300,000 home over what started as less than $3,000 in unpaid taxes. With the budget amendment now signed into law, if a city or town forecloses on a home and sells it, whatever remains of the equity after the tax is paid off must be returned to the former homeowner. That could apply to people whose equity was taken up to 3 years ago. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled in May of last year that equity theft was unconstitutional, but Massachusetts state law did not outlaw it until yesterday. Advocates and families gathered yesterday to urge lawmakers to take action for homeless families in Massachusetts. The Right to Shelter rally gathered on the steps of the State House and urged officials to give families access to emergency assistance in overflow centers. On August 1st, Massachusetts will prioritize families for shelter system placement if they become homeless because of a no-fault eviction or other sudden circumstances beyond their control. Those who are not prioritized for placement will have a 5-day stay limit at a temporary respite center. State officials say families who decide to stay at a temporary respite center will be required to wait 6 months or more for placement in the state's emergency family shelter system. Today, the Thomas Crane Library in Quincy Center will be offering free legal help for people to apply for U.S. citizenship. The library has teamed up with Project Citizenship to offer this program today from 2 to 7:30 in the community meeting room. To be eligible, applicants must be at least 18 years old, a legal permanent resident of 5 years or 3 years if married to a U.S. citizen, and be able to read, write, and speak basic English. The event is free and open to the public. However, appointments are required by calling 617-694-5949 or emailing info@projectcitizenship.org. Project Citizenship is a nonprofit agency that provides free, high-quality legal services to immigrants all over Massachusetts and New England. A Brockton man was convicted by a federal jury in Boston in connection with a wide-ranging drug trafficking conspiracy that involved dozens of parcels containing cocaine sent from Puerto Rico to various addresses throughout eastern Massachusetts and Rhode Island. Investigators intercepted 10 parcels and seized more than 20 kilograms of cocaine from the mail. 40-year-old Robert Montero was convicted of conspiracy to distribute and possess cocaine. He'll be sentenced in October. Montero was indicted alongside 10 co-defendants. Beginning in February of 2020, law enforcement investigated a drug trafficking organization operated by a Patrick Joseph. Based on a wiretap investigation, Joseph coordinated the transportation of 10 to 20 kilograms of cocaine at a time from the Dominican Republic to Puerto Rico and eventually to Massachusetts and Rhode Island via the U.S. mail. During the investigation, cocaine was found concealed inside air fryers and cash boxes before being sent through the mail. Various firearms, 21 kilograms of cocaine, and over $100,000 in cash was also seized. Montero faces up to 20 years in prison and a $1 million fine. Well, it's Shark Day today at the Adam Shore branch of the Thomas Crane Library in Quincy Center. Kristen Smith from the Atlantic White Shark Conservancy will present a program about white sharks for children ages 6 to 11. The program will include puzzles of both juvenile and adult white sharks, examine shark teeth, and learn how they feed, grow, and explore the similarities and differences between white sharks, whales, bony fish, and seals. The program is an interactive lecture and is not suitable for children under 6. Program will also include shark crafts, a scavenger hunt, and coloring sheets. The Quincy Cultural Council is sponsoring today's program, which begins at 10:30 this morning. Check of business news this morning. Stocks are mixed. The Dow is down 49 points. The Nasdaq was up 12, and the S&P added 4. Asian stocks mostly declined. The dollar was higher, the euro was down, oil at $75 a barrel. In sports, Red Sox beat the Mariners 14-7 at Fenway last night. Series continues tonight at 7:10. The forecast from the National Weather Service today: hazy sunshine, warm and humid with highs in the upper 80s. For tonight, cloudy, muggy, and a low of 66. Tomorrow, scattered showers and thunderstorms, warm and humid, high of 82. And Thursday, hazy, hot, and humid, high 90. Friday, hot and humid with a high of 92. For the boater, waves about a foot, winds out of the south at 5 to 10 knots, increasing to 15 knots, and then gusting to 20 knots later today. High tide, 7:41 a.m. Sunrise, 5:35, sets at 8:04. I'm Joe Catalano with an AM Quincy news update for Tuesday, July 30th.